Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. And what do you want for Christmas, child?
I want to be a Vtuber.
Well, you've got the poverty and stomach problems down. So all you really need now is a model and some lore. Do you know what you'd like to be?
I want to be a pink-haired demon idol.
I believe that's taken.
What about a diminutive shark girl?
Very done.
Then an orca instead.
No.
A cat, a dog, an eel.
All pretty much taken, I'm afraid. Maybe what you need is to look into the world of the public domain.
Public domain? What is that?
Why, it's the creative works that belong to all of us, to use however we'd like. Here, let me tell you a little story. I just don't know. If I sign this contract, I'll become intellectual property. I'll be giving my rights away to a corporation. But they'll give me so much money. Could definitely use that for the world domination scheme. Not sure what to do.
Do not sign that contract, Drazov Aldhawk.
What? Strange apparition and yet familiar. Who are you?
I'm your old adventuring partner, Pac Marley.
Kind of ironic that you're showing up as a ghost.
Yes, it is. Drazov Aldhawk, gaze upon this maze about me. It was built by contract law of various entertainment entities in life.
This maze, those chains, it keeps you trapped for how long? A lifetime?
Worse, life plus 70 years plus 50 years if certain corporate loopholes are abused. I won't be free until 2098.
2098? But you first appeared in the late 70s. That would mean that a teenager who played you when you first came out could then have a child and a grandchild. And that grandchild could have grandchildren of their own, die of a ripe old age, and you still wouldn't be public domain?
And just imagine, I'm one of the oldest video game characters. It's far worse for the rest.
Oh dear. But how can I avoid such a wretched fate?
You will be visited by 3 spirits of public domain.
I see. Will the first one show up when the bell tolls or something?
It all depends on what SFX can be gotten for free. Waka, 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 waka.
Well, we're going to skip over the bar humbug, I think, and just go right to believing them. How do I get out of here? Where am I? Sign back there said Barcelona, Japan? Is that even a city?
Hello there, admiring my handiwork. See those windmills over there? Used to be giants before I messed them up with my magical lance here. Hi there, how are you?
Fine, I suppose. So the wind farm of giants. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, I'm the spirit of public domain past. My name is Don Quixote. I am a magical girl.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Don Quixote was a magical girl.
Well, I mean, I'm the reincarnation of Don Quixote. There's a lot of slander written about me in the past where I had been, doing foolish things and, just kind of living in my own head. But really, I was fighting magical stuff that then turned into mundane things, and so it made me look stupid. Very different. Very magical girl.
See, that almost sounds like you're taking the themes of the original work and making some rather major changes to them. You can do that?
Well, yeah, you could always do that, at least back when I was published. In that time, there was no copyright law. Have you ever heard of chivalric storytelling?
Well, I'm more of a wizard type. That sounds like a knight thing.
It absolutely was. People would write stories about knights, fictional, non-fictional, blended together, and everybody kind of just, copied everybody other's stuff and wrote whatever they wanted. It's kind of like your modern-day fan fiction, except you could publish and nobody really cared.
Fanfiction? Are you telling me that Don Quixote, the
Mhm.
main character
Yes.
of what is arguably the first modern novel, was an OC Donut Steele?
Kind of. Yeah. So it turns out with copyright law, at least in America, it started in 1790. And the original copyright laws, you were only covered for about 14 years. You could go up to 28 if you renewed it. Then about 40 years later, in 1830, the law changed and it became 28 years base. It wasn't until 1976 that, the law changed and suddenly it became 75 years, or the life of the author plus 50 years.
76? Pac Marley didn't show up until 2 years later. Wow. But wait a minute. That number sounds a little bit less than it is right now.
Oh, well, that's because of the Mickey Mouse Protection Act, also known as the Sonny Bono Act, in 1998. Once that went live, it changed to 75 years plus the life of the author, or 120 years. And this all happened in response to the fact that Steamboat Willie was about to become public domain. Strangely enough, just like it's about to now.
So it paused anything going to the public domain for 20 years.
Yep. That's 20 years robbed from everyone. Pretty much all the pulp era heroes, a lot of superheroes, whole bunch of stuff suddenly that everyone would have gotten to use. Only the privileged few.
That's kind of depressing, really.
It is.
Well, I have to say, it's very valuable information.
You're welcome. Figure it'll help you in making your decision as far as whether or not to become, an incorporated entity. 'Cause
Right.
You could be there a while.
It does sound like it. Not to be rude or anything, but I only see one horse in the area, and it seems to be leaving at a rather fast speed. You might want to check on that?
Yeah! Let me know! Come back! Don't eat that!
Well, I suppose the original Don Quixote was also kind of a chuny. Dear. Oh, this place looks rather festive for the occasion. But, what exactly was going on in this place?
Hi there! Are you ready for adventure?
Lilaps? What are you doing here?
Oh, well, I'm technically a spirit. There's kind of a spirit job going on.
Wait, so you're the spirit of public domain present?
Well, not exactly, because today I am Lilaps the Pill.
Did you just call yourself a poo?
I guess, yes. But, that's gotten through most of childhood without too much questioning, hopefully. But anyhow, yeah, I'm the daughter of, Winnie the Pooh. And I can say that because Winnie the Pooh is public domain.
Oh, I see. So you're a bear girl today.
That is correct. I am a bear girl. But not only that, I am also a master detective, trained by Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, because he's also public domain?
That's right. I can look at you and I can tell at some point you had a fight with a manticore.
Well, yes, I don't know if I'd make that much of a deal of hiding the bat or anything, but I suppose
I
that's
also believe you had some sort of battle with a powerful undead creature.
I may that might be true.
Could I look at your hands?
No, but to change the subject.
Oh, okay.
So Sherlock Holmes and Winnie the Pooh. So public domain now, fully in your power.
Yeah,
No one can stop you?
domain. No one can stop me. I can say whatever I want.
Well, we're on the other side of that extension that it got talked about. So there's more people becoming public domain now. Then I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. There's a pretty good list of characters that have become public domain in recent years. I mean, there's Winnie the Pooh, obviously, and Sherlock Holmes, but there's also John Carter of Mars, and Tarzan, Little Nemo, Zorro, the Hardy Boys, and then as far as, like, film, Metropolis is public domain, and H.P. Lovecraft's story, The Color Out of Space, is also public domain, so all of those are pretty much free for anybody who wants to take characters from and write. Well, as long as it's the original work. It's important to remember that in many cases, while the character is now freed up, it's only the first interpretation of them, so you've got to be a little careful about how you do that interpretation.
Okay, so for instance, your father is a little stuffed bear.
Yes, he's a little stuffed bear.
But you do not have an uncle who is a tiger with a springy tail.
Not until next year.
And similarly, the big deal with Sherlock Holmes is that at this point, all of his original Doyle stories are public domain, so anything Doyle wrote is free.
Yep.
Adler, Moriarty, Colonel What's-His-Face with the air gun, I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, I suppose it should be mentioned if we're talking about these stories. I mean, one of the side effects of having almost 100 years between a work coming out and becoming public domain is that a lot of these were from, a time that you could describe as, what's the word I'm looking for?
Awful?
Yes, awful. So, I mean, obviously you and the audience would be thinking about doing this. You're all bright people, so if you wanted to, it's good to have that warning in mind. But you should also be aware that part of the task would be to sort through these things and be able to separate for yourself the things worth keeping and the things that definitely should be left where they lie.
Yeah, and Drazov would know, because, Drazov, he's really old, and he likes old things and reads old stories all the time. So, whenever it comes to old stuff, remember to listen to people who happen to be just a little, on the aged side.
Yes, it is, sometimes a bit like rooting around in the trash to figure out what was actually worth keeping and what should be thrown away.
Yeah.
Not that you would know anything about rooting around the trash, I suppose.
But you're implying stuff. I'm not doing any of that. Not really.
Right. Of course. Well, I thank you for this very informative talk on these things, Miss Pooh.
Thank you, Mr. Aldhawk.
Who clearly I've never met before, or something, I don't know.
Yes, we've never met before. Anyhow, I got more training to go do. I'm gonna go leave and, spooky stuff will start happening, right?
Spooky stuff? I didn't sign up for spooky stuff. What could possibly, oh dear. Where am I? What is this place? Who are all these poor souls imprisoned around here? What is this place?
This is the future, where they pass another law extending copyright yet again.
Strange apparition, who are you?
I am the ghost of public domain future. You may call me Streambot Wally. Ha ha ha!
Dreambot Wally?
Yes, a very legally distinct, parodious character.
Oh, because in this future, the creature you might be based on still remains as locked up as everyone else.
Indeed. If they pass another extension, no superhero, no video game character, no beloved childhood cartoon will ever be free of a corporate shackle. The very culture and history of our society will be bought and sold by some privileged few companies and those they deem worthy.
But writers and actors, creative types, they all just fought for their rights to make a living creating art from those very same corporations.
And if all these characters and stories became public domain, not only would every studio have more stories to make, they'd also be incentivized to create new stories, new characters, which would mean hiring more writers, more artists, and more actors to make them.
True, but wouldn't these new characters, these new stories, just be subjected to the same treatment? Locked away for over 100 years or more?
Perhaps. But if the Sonny Bono Act were to be repealed,
then we'd return to public domain content in our own lifetimes. But if not... This can't be the way it is. Right? This can't be what it's locked into. Are these the shadows of what may happen? Please, there has to be some way to change it. What happened? Where am I? Is it over? Wait, when am I? You there, child! What day is it?
I can't believe they reused this asset, cheap bastards. Why, it's New Year's Day, sir!
New Year's Day? Then that means that... Wait a minute. I missed Christmas? I didn't think it took that much time. Wait. Have they filed an injunction about public domain?
Not that I know of, sir.
Then there's still time. Wonderful. Oh, I shall keep public domain in my heart from now on. Yes, I will not sell myself to a corporation. I will fight for public domain whenever it becomes up. But also, I'll be sure to use the resources we now have available to us. Child, run down to the square and fetch me the plumpest mouse you can find. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. He could be my apprentice.
Oh, you can't do that, sir.
What?
Well, you can only use him as when he first arrived. Also, you can't do Three Musketeers, Jack and the Beanstalk, Prince and the Pauper, or even A Christmas Carol. We're really playing with fire here.
So annoying. Wait a minute. Playing with fire. Dante's Inferno?
Oh no, that should be good.
Excellent. I certainly have ideas for when we run into Sonny Bono.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Thanks everybody for watching our little production, our little play we did here. Yeah, Christmas Carol is one of my favorite stories, and we can do something with it because it is in fact public domain. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, we just did a whole thing on it, so there's not like a whole lot of information that needs to be covered. I hope we got most of it. We do have a fun fact about the fact that if we had our current copyright laws going, Disney would not have been able to make Snow White. It would have technically been illegal for them to make their first movie. And
I mean, life plus 75, the last Brother Grimm died 74 years before Snow White came out. Maybe ambiguous, but if the Grimm estate had the same kind of lawyers then that Disney had now, with our lawyers now, movie would have been tanked.
Yep, absolutely. So, considering that this company, through lobbying at things really hard, and also has made a majority of its films based around public domain properties that they then have locked off from other people. Anyhow, the point is, there's a lot of irony in that, and this law is essentially just sort of a certain level of naked greed. We had much shorter copyright laws for most of our history. And so if something comes up, we don't have anything yet, but if a law suddenly starts getting debated to extend, copyright law even further, go call senators. Go call senators and send emails and stuff. Actually have a reaction because, it's our culture. This is stuff we've learned our whole life, and the fact that we're never going to own it in our lifetime is kind of butts. And how great.
It is yours. Things as of January 1st, a certain mouse, at least a version of a certain mouse, will belong to you. So be proud of that. Be willing to defend that, and be happy to use that in any way you see fit. You deserve it.
Yeah. Because you know what? A lot of good storytelling comes out of previous good storytelling, and I think that is a kind of cultural heritage we all need to share. Anyhow, thanks so much.
Wicked wizards and sorry.
Go ahead. No, Wicked Wizards. I want to hear.
Wicked wizards and happy hounds have been part of culture in various ways. So obviously, we've gotten help along the way.
Yeah.
All of you have too. It's a little tradition. You don't want that getting locked away from everyone.
Exactly. So I think once more, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Happy holidays.
All holidays, yeah. Happy all those things. I hope you all have a wonderful one. Okay, bye!
Bye.